Now you've spoken about, in the past we talked about how you said Patrick Stewart's favorite set was the Enterprise E, which made for First Contact, using again an insurrection. It was it was done differently in this film. The director wanted it to look different. It looked darker. Was that a talk about how it was working with Stuart Baird versus working with Jonathan Frakes, and Stuart Baird, director of Nemesis, and how he wanted to kind of change the look of the established E and some of the other looks of the show.
Stuart has a big ego, and he's a really good editor. And as a human being, in pre-production, before we actually started shooting, he was the most charming, willing to listen to any idea, loved everything kind of guy. Thought, oh, this is going to be fun. And as soon as the camera started rolling, he became impossible to work with. Nothing ever satisfied him. Everybody was doing it wrong, and he had to somehow pull it together anyway, because we were all such fools. And he made the actors feel that way, and I think when you do that, you don't get the best work out of your cast. I had a terrible time finding the lead actor, and this has nothing to do with Stuart Baird, but I at one point, before we went into production, when they were still casting around for somebody to play the alter ego of Picard, I suggested Bono. And Rick Herman looked at me and said, you want me to offer this part to the biggest rock star in the world? I said, yeah, I think he'd do it. And to this day, I think he would have. And he resembles Patrick Stewart a lot more than Tom.
Tom Hardy. Hardy.
Tom Hardy, yeah. Tom Hardy, no, good actor. He's done much better work since he left.
He's just in Inception.
Yeah. And nicer fellow you can't meet, but Stuart was always goading Tom one way or another, and Patrick resented it, and there was just a lot of friction on the set. And Patrick didn't like Stuart saying, "Don't say it this way, say it that way." You know, no. And a good actor wants line readings, and Stuart wanted to give everybody line readings. He also wanted to design the sets. He wanted to do the music. As an editor, he has more control of all those things, but he only can work with what the director has given him as an editor. And as a director, he somehow lost track of where his real responsibility lay. And as a result, there was too much friction on the set. We still made a decent movie. I wouldn't say it's the best movie, but he did want to make it darker. He did want to look into the Romulan soul and make this a real horror movie, really, a high-class horror movie. But that was really the direction he wanted to go, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't fun. My set decorator, John Dwyer, I worked with on several pictures, and he had a long list of credits, way better than mine, and he couldn't take it. He quit about 2/3 of the way through shooting, because he couldn't find any set dressings that Stuart Baird actually approved of. So we got a new set decorator, and he ended up using all the things that John had picked, because there wasn't anything wrong with John's set decorating. It was just that, for whatever reason, Stuart wanted to find fault in it. And when you work with a person like that, you tend to lose respect. And when you lose respect, especially with a cast, you don't get the best performance. It has nothing to do with my relationship to him. He finally approved the things that I wanted to do. He wanted to make a $150 million movie, and the studio would only give him $55 million to make it with, so he was still trying to muscle everybody around to give him that kind of quality, and you can't do it. Everything that you see on the screen has a direct correlation to the budget. You can only do so much in so many days, and you can only if you need $10 million to build the sets, and they only give you 4, there's no way it's going to look the same. The difference between a J.J. Abrams film and all of the other Star Trek films is that they didn't. He didn't allow them to restrict him to what was spent. He spent the budget they wanted him to spend on the art department in the year before they actually started shooting anything. I wish I'd had that kind of money to work with too.
Actually, there is one set. It's interesting in the J.J. Abrams movie that they designed. God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Was it Ryan Church? It might have been Ryan Church, or it could have been the other designer. Designed this beautiful new engineering set, and when they looked at how much it was going to cost to build, from scratch, new engineering set, they said, forget it. And they actually shot it in a Budweiser plant, with mixed results. But there must be some sketches at your house or in the archives of some sets that were designed and you hope you could have made, but the budget said no, you can't. So what are some of the kind of things we never saw that you really wish you had a chance to make? Or are there any examples of that from your time?
Nobody's ever asked me that question. And frankly, I don't recall any sets that we didn't build. You have to understand that even though we were doing features, the people that staffed the visual arts department, the costumes, the makeup, the sets, the props, we were all together for many years. Mike Okuda and Denise were on Next Generation. The construction coordinator, Tom Ark, did 4 pictures. Mike Westmore was there from day one. I think he was on Star Trek 4 even. So, you know, we all had a shorthand version of a production meeting. We would know each other's thoughts and know the direction things were going when any new script came across the desks, because frankly we'd all been used to doing television where you have maybe 4 or 5 days between the time you actually get the pages and the time you have to start shooting something. Feature film, you have the whole script in front of you before you even start. In television, if you're lucky, you get a treatment that tells you what the basic sets are, not necessarily what they look like or what the writer hopes they'll look like. And you don't get much of that even when you get the dialogue. So you're pretty much inventing all the time, and it's a tribute to Rick Berman that he allowed people to do things without a lot of supervision. We pretty much were a little army of people that did creatively pretty much what we damn well wanted to in order to make the schedule. And so when we started doing features as well, the same rules had to apply, because as I said, we didn't get $150 million or $200 million to make a picture. And we didn't get 120 days, we got 60 to 65 days. And those are limitations that if you do television, you think, oh, that's easy compared to doing 10 pages a day on a television show. You do a page and a half, 2 pages on a feature. But in terms of quality, I think we gave them pretty good quality in both directions. Because we were pretty much a creative family. We're working pretty steadily for a large part of that 19 years that I had to do it.
One of the different things about Nemesis, it broke a long-standing Star Trek tradition of, and it's kind of a joke of in every Star Trek movie, you know, there's a battle scene and everyone leans left or everyone leans right. But in this one, you guys actually put the bridge on a gimbal. Whose idea was that? Do you think it was necessary? And what were some of the challenges of taking that set and actually building it on a giant gimbal? Maybe tell people what a gimbal is.